started developing its satellite navigation system over 20 years ago, and the final satellite in the full system was launched on June 23rd, completing the entire BeiDou.
大家上午好。
Good morning.
欢迎出席国务院新闻
Welcome
办
to
今天举
attend
办的
this
新闻发布
presser
会。
held by State Council
今天我
Information
们非常
Office.
高兴请来
Today
了
we are quite
中
honored to
国
have invited
卫星导航
with
系统
us
管理办公室主任
from the
北斗卫星导
Administration
航系
Office
统
of
新闻发
BeiDou
言人
Navigation Satellite
蓝成奇先
System,
生。
the Director and Spokesperson Mr. Ran
北斗系统
Chenqi,
工程副
and
总设计师
the Chief
北斗3号
Designer
工
of
程卫星
BeiDou
系统总
Satellite
师
System,
谢军先生。
Mr. Xichang
北斗3号工程卫星系统
from
总
BeiDou
师林宝军先生。
Chief Designer Ning
北
Baojun,
斗3号工程运控
from
系统
BeiDou
总师
3
陈金平先生。
Operation and Control System,
请他们向
Mr.
大家介绍
Chen.
北斗3号全球卫
They
星导
will
航系
brief
统
us about
建成开通的
the
有关情况，
completion
并回
and
答大家感兴趣
establishment
的问
of
题。
BeiDou Navigation Satellite
首先，我们
System
有请
and to take your
蓝总。
questions. Now, first of all, Mr. Ran.
女士们、先生们、
Ladies and
各位媒
gentlemen,
体的朋友
dear
们，
media
大家
friends,
上午好！
good morning.
很高兴和我的3
It's a
位
real
同事
pleasure
出席
to
今天的
join
发
this
布会。
presser together with
7月
three of my
31日
colleagues.
习近平
On
总
July
书
the
记
31st,
向
General
世界
Secretary
宣
Xi
布北斗
Jinping
3号
announced
全
to the
球卫星
globe
导航
about
系统
the
正式开
completion
通，
and commissioning of
标
BeiDou
志着北
Navigation
斗3
Satellite
步走
System,
发展战略圆满
signifying
完
that
成。
the three-step strategy has been materialized, and BeiDou
新时代。
Navigation System has
下面
entered into a
我
new
从4
era
个
of
方
serving
面
the globe.
介绍有关
Now
情
I
况。
will brief on
一、
4 parts
工程
about
建
this
设
system.
前
Firstly,
半年完成，彰显
completion half a year ahead of schedule to exhibit the China speed. We conquered difficulties to complete the system. It is initiated in November years ago, and over the past 1 decade, we have conquered multiple difficulties technically so as to simplify the entire system. We have completed the 5 stages step by step, and now we have completed this system about half a year ahead of schedule.
开通
Since its completion, it went into operation instantly.
关键核心
We
技术
have
实现
also made breakthroughs in core technologies so as to be self-reliant. About 400 entities and 30,000
建电路
scientists and researchers worked
等
around the
160
clock
项
to
关键核心技术
complete the
突破
system.
500
We have made breakthroughs about 106 technologies, and many of the parts have been made in China. So the core parts and technologies of the system has been realized, and we have been 100% self-reliant. Secondly, we have collective management of the entire project,
研制队伍
and we have our own team of researchers. As to quality, the system, and the progress made, we have set up our criteria, so we have shortened about 1/4 of the time for this project.
卫星入
And
网周期
for the
缩短
satellite
3%
system entering into the network, we have shortened the time by about 3/4. So risk control has also been within our capabilities. We have no hazards and no vulnerabilities once they are sent into the orbit. In the past 2.5 years, we have high density of launching of 18 rockets and 30 satellites. We have rapidly completed the entire network of satellites, particularly in front of the epidemic since the early 2020, and about the quality issues in the aerospace arena. In this project, we have been very stringent on quality control and review of those products, particularly risk control. So when we complete this project, we have also made headways in epidemic control. That's a complete success. Secondly, it is a powerful system with high performance to exhibit the China quality. We aim to build a world-class system. We have iterated our system, and we have incremented the performance indicators so as to be world-leading.
北斗3号具备
The
导
BeiDou 3
航定位
system
和
has
通信授权
navigation,
两大功能
telecommunication functionalities at the same time. We could offer positioning, timing, and short messaging functionalities in the globe and in certain regions. We also have the functionalities like global rescue and search, the PPP functionality. So it is a very powerful global navigation satellite system.
性能指标先进
Secondly, about the performance advancement, we could have high precision of less than 10 meters in global positioning with a timing of less than 1 second at the precision of about 0.02 meter. In Asia Pacific, the performance is even higher. So here I take a board with me to show you the details. For example, below, that is a graph shown in our presser in 2012. And you could see the dark colors at that moment. The dark colors represent the loopholes of our scanning in the BeiDou system. But now in the above picture, we could see the 2020 version. The system has full coverage across the whole globe, so all signals could be captured. And secondly, we could see the difference from the red dots. The red dots represent the number of satellites. We have greatly increased the number of red dots. And thirdly, we chose several cities for real-time measurement to check the precision. It's about 2 to 3 meters. That's even better than what we officially announced. So it has very good performance. As to short messaging, we have upgraded the system in the region per second, per time. It could be 14,000 bytes and 1,000 Chinese characters. We can send not only texts, but also pictures. So that's a very global, advanced messaging system. And that is an exhibition of China's advancement in messaging. As to global search and rescue, the ratio is about 99%, and we have improved the confidence of those rescue workers. As to PPP, it can offer centimeter level services. Previously, we have already introduced some documents, so on top of that, we want to announce the satellite-based enhancement, the Earth-based enhancement, international rescue, and 5 other softwares. The official website is also online since recently, and those documents will be announced officially to the public. So all of those materials about the BDS system has covered 7 different service categories. Now those are the pamphlets we take with us. They include all of those service functionalities of BDS system. They have been the results of all the participating enterprises. Thirdly, very good overall effects with high achievements, which is a wisdom of Chinese people. In the BeiDou system, we have covered transportation, public security, disaster relief, agriculture, forestry, fishery, and urban governance, electricity, financial services, telecommunication services, which are all the pillar industries of China. And the second nano chip is also out. For the majority of cell phones, they can support BeiDou system. For example, the Earth enhancement cell phone are already on the market. The boards, the terminals, and other operational services will constitute the entire management chain. So with the system, we have contributed to 20% of the GDP growth with our system support. In 2020, that output will be expected to be over 400 billion RMB yuan. So in Xichang high-speed railway operation and civil aviation sector, BeiDou will also be applied. On top of the high-precision services of BeiDou system, it contributes to the flood relief and epidemic control. It is beginning to play a role in blockchain, IoT, AI, and other new technologies. So the new application model, because of BeiDou system, will trigger new economy and new business forms. The China's BeiDou system is belonging to the whole world as a public good. It is one of the 4 big GNSS in the world. Together with the US, Europe, and Russia, we could be fully allied with systematic coordination. And we will enter into maritime, rescue, civil aviation, mobile communication, and other sectors with international organizations' support. And we have held the China-Arabic Cooperation Forum and China Central Asia Cooperation Forum. In Tunisia, we have even established several centers for cooperation. For example, in the 9th Ministerial Conference of China Arabic Conference, the two parties decided to further promote our cooperation on the basis of BeiDou system. The related products has been exported to 120 countries and offers services to over 100 million people. It benefits agriculture, smart ports, and construction sector in ASEAN, South Asia, West Asia, and Africa, and so on. We are trying to create a timing system and navigation system with made-in-China technologies. BeiDou system is to be a public good of the whole world, to benefit the mankind as a whole. So we are open-minded, innovative, and integrated. We seek excellence in this new era, which is an embodiment of the BeiDou spirit. By 2035, we are going to establish a more elaborative and ubiquitous BeiDou system so as to be more smarter, intelligent, and unmanned. We will upgrade the system with the integration of the new generation telecommunication and other enhancement technologies. For example, the quantum navigation, VPNT, and other capabilities to cover the earth, the sky, and the ocean. The system will be more efficient, more secure, and the infrastructure will benefit the entire mankind in the world. Now, together with my colleagues, we're going to take your questions. Thank you. Now the floor is open. Thank you. From CCTV, as we know, in application and marketization, BeiDou system has already been on a large scale. So how are we planning to deeply integrate the system into the market? On July the 31st, General Secretary Xi Jinping announced to the world about the completion of the system. An application is key for the system. Preliminarily, BeiDou system's application has made headways. For example, in the industries, we have registered about 345 billion RMB yuan in 2019, but we still have a long way to go. We aim at the following. Firstly, to establish a very complete policy support system. For example, the legal support, the standards, for us to give play to BeiDou system in increasing the output. Those are the basis. Secondly, we must be opener and more integrated. We are now launching the 7 documents. Those are the concerns of the enterprises, and they will help those enterprises to better apply BeiDou system, and the system will be more applied in different industries. And thirdly, we aim to further promote the BeiDou system's integration with new technologies like telecommunication, big data, AI, and internet. There will be new business models and new growth points of the economy. And next, we must pay follow-up attention to innovation. Innovation is the driver and the soul of technology advancement. It will spur economic changes. For example, during the coronavirus fight, BeiDou system plays a big role. For example, the Xichang and Xichang building, the precision measurements are contributed by BeiDou system. As to transportation and logistics, BeiDou system offers high precision services. In the future, in the flood control and other disaster relief sectors, BeiDou will continue its contribution. For example, the warning system, the transfer and evacuation of people, property, and life security. So nationwide, with our joint efforts, we will apply BeiDou system with the attention of the whole globe. BeiDou system will have a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you. With CNG, to ensure the long-term and reliable services of the BDS, what kind of methods will be taken to ensure the stability, and how do we do this maintain of the equipment and services? Actually, we are very honored to have the Chief Engineer, Mr. Xichang, with us, and he will be taking this question. The BDS is a high risk and complex system, as is known to all, and it's a mixed constellation with 21,000 MU satellites, so it has very complex space environment, and working life will exceed about 10 to 12 years respectively. So as satellites, it's really difficult to do the maintenance and replacement, especially after it enters this orbit. So multiple methods must be taken to ensure its safe operation. So when we are designing this constellation, we have been taking very mature technological plan to minimize the risks, and we have done multiple ground experiment to minimize the risk and keep them in control. We also been following the possibility of malfunction for these satellites, so we have set up backups. So if one function goes south, there is another equipment to operate in its place in a very short manner and very seamless manner, to be exact, in order to ensure the smooth operation of the whole system. So during designing phase, we have made these rules and backup plans. During production, we also have been working out the plan to send 30 satellites into space, and in order to ensure the smooth process, we have very stringent measures. First of all, very detailed research in terms of experiment and design. And for some fundamental equipment as well as parts, we have set up very strict plans and standards, and we have special institutions to be in charge of that. If one of the parts goes malfunction, and this batch of parts will be phased out. For any aerospace products, we have a very strict plan and design and standard in terms of aerodynamic and mechanics rules, and we have a special plan. For example, in terms of the control of temperature range, the temperature range for this product is about -10 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius, but we were aiming to increase that range to about 40 or even 60 degrees Celsius in order to ensure the stability and keep alarm of possible occurrences in space. For some key matters, we have to do a lot of research to and backup plans. And we also have strengthened the approval phase in terms of the testing of the products. We have multiple batches of products from which we will do a lot of comparisons in order to continuously improve the quality of the products, and so that all of this product that goes into space has zero tolerance for mistakes or malfunction. And even after this launching, the team have to do this maintenance and administration. We have organized a team of supporting team to monitor the application, the operation in the orbit. And we are monitoring closely the parameters and signals from the space. For example, the atomic clock. And we have been constantly doing analysis. And it's the same story with the navigation signals. And we will also be doing this very regular evaluation for the working status of the system. 3. After the launching, we will be also using big data technology to closely monitor the working status, for example, the temperature, the electricity, and modulation of the working status. And we also have this guarantee service chains that is right now version 2.2. Through all of these administrative methods, we are aiming at very close monitoring even after this launching and entering into the orbit. We have to discover this problem as soon, all of this problem as soon as we can, and we need to establish early warning systems. We have to pre-detect the problems even before it occurs, before the users have felt the impact. So that is our objectives in this regard. And this is our solid commitment to our users. I believe that through all of these methods, the BeiDou system will be providing very constant, very stable and reliable services to users all around the world. With South China Morning Post.
I have a question translated, if that's okay. 2 small questions. One is that, so you've mentioned that BeiDou, the system, will be compatible with other global systems like GPS or the systems of Europe and Russia, but there haven't been many details on how exactly this compatibility will take place. So I'd wonder if you would speak a little bit more about how you'll move forward with the compatibility of specifically with the other systems, and also what other major projects can we expect in the future from China on the scale of BeiDou in space technology and science technology. What can we expect in terms of other big plans in the future on this scale? Thanks.
请翻译一下。
南华早报记者有2个小问题。首先，您刚刚提到了北斗系统将会和全球的，包括 GPS 和美国以及俄罗斯的一些系统进行兼容。那么在这方面，您是否能够再具体的说一下，中方将如何进一步的推动北斗系统的兼容性？第2个问题，我们未来可以期待中国会继续推出哪一些规模同北斗类似的大型的这个太空的工程？谢谢。
好，谢谢。
Thank you.
关于第一个问题啊，其
First
实
question.
卫星导航大家都知道是
As is
人
known
类
to
共
all,
有的财
a
富。
satellite navigation
卫星
system
导航系统
is
它是一定
a
向全世界
wealth
提供服务，作为
and
我们
it's
一
a
个终极的
public
追求。
good service
那么北斗当
that
然
is
毋庸
open
置
to
疑，
people
我
all
们是坚
around
持
the
和
world.
平发展，
So
人
this
类
is
共
part
享，
of
所以我们
our
叫
peaceful
北斗理念
development
服务全
strategy
球造福人民。
and will
在联合
be
国的框架下，
providing
专门成立了一
services
个全
to
球卫
users
星导航
across
系
the
统
world.
国际委员会。那么
And
北斗
we
系统
have
是
this
4大
global
家族之一，
navigation
核心的
system
供应商。
committee, and we
在我
are
们北斗系
one
统
of the
从建
providers
设之初，
for
我们就
the
一致把
services.
提
So
供更
from the
好
very
的服务
beginning,
向
our
全
aim is
球
to
提供
provide
更好
better
的服务作为
services
追求的目标。
to the
兼容
world.
互操作是
So this
卫星导航
compatibility
系统非
and
常重要的一个
its
合作内容。
application is a very
简单的
important
讲，
part
实际
to
上就是
that.
要解决我们
To put it
北斗
simply,
或其他卫星导航系统之间在信号
we
层
need
面
to
要
build
互不干扰，
bridges
并且要实
and
现
also
1+1
make
大于
sure
2
that
的
the
这个
signals do not
更好的应
interfere
用
with
效
each
应。
other
很
between
高兴
BeiDou
看
and
到
other systems.
我们跟其他卫星导航系统的合作
And
取得良好的进展，无论
we
是跟
are
GPS 也好
expecting very
阿拉
good
斯也好，伽利略
connections
也好，
with
我们都有双方的关于
Galileo,
兼容
with
互操作的
GLONASS as well as GPS, and memos and agreements will be signed. But this is only the first stage of cooperation. In the future, in terms of application and technical support, we are confident and we are capable to continue to promote work in this regard. So as for future development, we're always on the way in terms of construction and vacation. After BDS-3 was built, we are right now planning for the next phase of development. And by 2035, we are aiming to build a smarter and wider system to make it short. It's from the ocean to indoors to Earth to the space. It's a system that integrates all of these environment. So this is right now at a beginning stage, and that will be a highlight for aerospace projects in the future. Thank you. With Phoenix Television. Still a question about stability. You talk about the security and safety of the satellite. We have a ground control system, and to ensure the stability of the operation, so what kind of function will this ground service platform play? The BDS-3 have 30 satellites in several stations. And we need to organize this network between space and Earth to Earth. So it's a very complex system. And we have to ensure the constant service of this system, which is also very complicated. In terms of the BDS, we have to commit to our users the stability. And this is actually a bottom line problem that we have to address. So first of all, we have built very adequate emergency plans to deal with any possible problems. And right now we've been providing service for about a year and a half. And we have a lot of featured services that began in their trials in May. So they have been running for about 2 months. And in these 2 months, the service has been proven to be very trustworthy and reliable. But does not mean that we did not run into any malfunctions. So besides dealing with these problems at the same time, we also been doing research on the problems, and we've been building this database, and in order to further optimize our problem-based system and emergency plans that has been integrated into the database. So with this database and this constantly improving emergency plans, and with our about 20 years of experiences running the system, we have been very currently very quite at ease when dealing with these problems. Second, we have been continuously optimizing all these maintenance methods. So stability is one of our top priorities in operation, so we have a very complex and full-fledged system to ensure that. Because, for example, the big data system that did this relevance analysis of the database and the statistics in order to support the system. We've been also introducing some external monitoring statistics to do diagnosis on the operation of the system. We have also built this interference testing system and execution system for training, and which are non-existent in the past. With the integration of all the systems, we are confident to ensure the stability of the operation. We have been also establishing a maintenance and monitoring service mechanism.
For example, the diversified and multiple coordinated security guarantee system, that is to say, all the participating researching organs are establishing a mechanism for co-management and administration of the system. In addition, we have the status counseling system, the long-term maintenance and flight check mechanisms. All of those mechanisms gather together the operators, the maintenance staff, to be a whole team. We frequently say that we must be able to manage the system to guarantee its stability. The target of the BeiDou system is to make it a world-class BeiDou system as a public good to the whole world, and it requires perfect operation and management. Whether such an operational system is a world-class system, it requires the test of the times and the feedback of users. In the future operation and management process, we will abide by our initial mission and put in our minds the stringent working style to take practical steps to manage the system so that the system will be reliable for usage. Thank you. From China Daily, the BDS system will be operational for a long time. What are the measures to guarantee the sustainability of the satellites already in orbit? Good morning. That's a very good question. Usually, for one breakthrough, it takes about 10 years, and for satellites, they take like 10 to 20 years. So, the working life lasts for 20 years, and approaching the end, when we look back, it's already a technology 20 years ago. We cannot guarantee its stability. If the satellites cannot be maintained, then the sustainable usage of the satellite is going to be a pain point, and it has been troubling us for a long time. Usually, we follow the theory of the short panel. For one barrel of woods, usually the shortest panel will decide what's going to be the volume of that barrel. So we will not consider too much like the remaining volume of different indicators. Those traditional parameters are not suitable for satellites. We are not going to be based on the achievable targets for now. Instead, we're going to combine the loopholes and the advantages of satellites to keep improving the hardware. For example, the empowerment of the in-orbit satellites, so that after being launched, the satellites will continuously be improved in performance. And in the initial period of designing BDS system, we have broken the records. Like the new technologies of one project should not be over 30% of the total. Instead, in BDS system, we are forward-looking. That's why we adopted a series of new technologies. Sometimes the new technologies accounted for over 70% of the total project. Added by the ever-emerging new technologies and the high frequency of the iteration of technologies, so the technologies of the satellites will be reliable. And also, as to the product research, we have very mature processing technologies and enough testing rounds to guarantee its quick operation. Particularly for every satellite, before it's put into operation, we will have a final round of testing of its performance so that all the satellites sent into the orbits will be a success. For example, to tackle the issue of ground coverage, we adopted a new plan, which is unprecedented in the whole world. And we solved the problem. Such new solutions represent the innovation, connecting the satellites to be a whole network, so we could have signals throughout the stations on the ground. So once one satellite is in operation, all satellites will be connected with it. And we will solve other emerging problems when they're in orbit. Just like our cell phones, we could upgrade our softwares, and we can download a new app to add new functionalities. For such capabilities, we maintain them in the satellites. There are two parts. One, the upgrading of the available system, and second, empowerment of new capabilities. So after we launch the satellites, we could keep improving its performance. So in general, in the preliminary stage of the project, we had a very forward-looking plan, and during the development process, we have guaranteed the advancement of the project. So the BDS system could be completed half a year ahead of schedule. And also at the same time, it hits the targets of being a world-leading project. The BDS system is a public good for China and for the world. Thank you. From Hong Kong, Zijing Journal, recently there have been the plaguing of flood in southern China. We are under severe pressure of flood control. Could you offer us more details about how BeiDou system will play a role in flood control? Thank you. Indeed, this year we have experienced severe floods, and China is susceptible to different disasters. As to the navigation system, particularly BeiDou system, is going to be underpinning in those times. One difference of BeiDou system from other satellites is that it contains short message services, which is to say, without any on-the-ground telecommunication network support, it can send out the short messages. Like I say, it is about 1,000 Chinese characters. We could send out the images, voicemail. That's a remarkable achievement. Like Beijing said, we have a global technology, so we could further extend the services to cover the whole world for short message receiving. Wherever you go, even without telecommunication signal, you could get such information through the BeiDou system. So the first highlight of BeiDou system is short message. The second one is high precision. With the satellites in orbit, we have a better system, and with the augmentation network on the ground, we can cover about 3,000 ground stations on the globe. What is the precision? We could handle centimeter level or even millimeter level precision when we are monitoring like landslides. We need such a system with a precision of less than millimeter. So we could have real-time monitoring of such disasters, including around the railway stations and possible places vulnerable to landslides. Then we can evacuate people and properties to save more rescue time with such early warning. If you pay attention to the news, this year in my hometown in Xichang County in Hunan Province, you will know that because of the BeiDou monitoring system, one township has suffered from landslides. And with the early warning, 60 people have been saved because of the system. In southern China, during the flood control period. BeiDou system has already played a big role. We called upon different localities to pay high attention to the application like BeiDou system. High precision application will be a trump card of BeiDou system in the future. High precision system and technology will be adopted in cell phones, and it is very promising. With the high precision functionality in the cell phones when we are driving, we could have a very precise navigation, and the taxi driver could just drive more conveniently to your doorstep without even looking at the roads. For BeiDou system, it's superior. Why? For the other systems, if they have certain functionalities, BeiDou system upgrades those available mechanisms and systems. For those black canvases unemployed by the other systems, like satellite-based augmentation functionality, they are added to BeiDou system. I especially want to highlight international search and rescue services. It is a new functionality to BeiDou system, unseen in previous navigation systems. So, with the BeiDou signal sent out, usually previously the signal was sent out, but we never know about the feedback. Is any organization receiving the signal or coming to rescue? But BeiDou system could help you to get the feedback. For example, when the ground station gets the signal, we will send out a feedback signal to you, reassuring you about the receiving of the rescue signal. So such a global service will contribute to the whole world. Such a new performance will even trigger the new international standards to come out. It will certainly bring changes to disaster relief. For example, this year, in the wake of the epidemic, BeiDou system has played a role in the other production sectors. So let's stay tuned in the application of BeiDou system.
Thank you.
From China News Society, as you said, by 2035, we will build BeiDou system to be a smarter and more ubiquitous global navigation satellite system. How shall we understand such a system, and what will be the new highlights of the system by that time? Thank you for the question. With the launching of the number 31, General Secretary Xi Jinping highlights the future development plan of BDS system. But the first top priority is about the stable operation of the system. Like Mr. Chen said, the continuously reliable operation of the system is the top priority, and we have the confidence. And the second step is to plan out the future. We are starting to consider to build a low-orbit augmentation manners. Everyone is familiar with the high-precision system and its advantages, but not only China region could experience and benefit from the system. So we want to take it to the space. We want the whole space and the whole globe to benefit from the high-precision functionality. By 2025, such a high-precision network spanning the whole world will be established. So such centimeter-level precision functionalities of BeiDou system will be enjoyed throughout the whole world. That's going to be a remarkable achievement. And secondly, the signals will be vulnerable in the space. There will be a lot of interferences. When the signal enters the indoor, it will bump into problems. For example, underwater, the signal will be poor. The deep space will be another vulnerable place for the signals. For example, the Mars probe technology is one example. If we want to go into the deep space for more discovery, BeiDou system must do more. So such a comprehensive and ubiquitous timing and positioning system will rely on the navigation system and then combine it with the sorts of other technologies so that the whole system will be more reliable with more performance. And we're looking forward to 2035.
谢谢。封面新闻记者提问。我想请问一下，
My
就是
question
与
is,
国外的导航系统相比，
compared
北斗系
to
统的
the
精度如何？
other
刚刚发言
global
也提到了
navigation
就是
system,
人我有人
how
我有，
is
能
the
不能请您
precision
详细
and
介绍一
accuracy
下
of
有哪些其他导
BDS
航系统所不具备的优
and
势？
what unique advantages do
关于
BDS
导航
does
系统的精
BDS
度，我刚才
have?
在前面介绍其实已经讲
I
了。我们现
actually
在
have
对
covered
外
this part in my
发布的
previous
定位精度
answers
是
in
10
terms of the
承诺的精度
precision.
是
And right now,
但实际上我们
the
在实际
committed
测试的过程
is
中
about
通
10
常情况下
meter
就是2到3米。
accuracy, but
我们其中
in
有一
real
个平
testing
面
is
的
about 2
信号
to
在
3
全世界
meter
平均
accuracy,
来看的定位精度是
and
1.7米。
the average would be
所以我
about
们特别为什么说北斗是一流的系统，我们有这个信心。
meters, a bit
那么
more than
另外
1
的刚才
meters
讲的就是
accuracy.
人无我有的方面，就是这
And
是特色的服
our,
务。短报
when
文
it
啊，
comes
全
to
球
our
短报
unique
文、区域短
advantages,
报文、
it is this
信息
regional
增
and
强、
global
地域
short
增强，
messaging
包括
function,
国际搜
as
救，
well
这
as
都是
the
我们差异化的
its
服务。
application
所以我
in
们
global
一共是提供7种
rescue
服务。
missions. So
我
altogether
给
we
它举
provide
形象比喻叫
7
1+6。
services.
我
So
们
it's
后续
like
发
a
展
1
一定会
plus
让这个1
6
越来越
service
强，
system,
6 的
and
功
we'll
能
be
也越来
strengthening
越
this
丰富。
one and
这就是
been
我们
enriching
北斗
the
的特
6
色。
additional functions of the system.
第2排这位女士。
谢谢主持人，我是21世纪经济报道的记
With
者。
21st century
刚才梁主任已
economics,
经说到这个芯片的
as
这个进展，
Mr. Ran
就
has
28纳米
mentioned,
的
it's
工艺的芯
we
片呢
have
已经量产
established
了。
28
28纳米的
nanometer
芯片呢还
chips
准备即
and
将量产中。
researching on the
我还想了解，
22
因为
nanometers
毕竟芯
chip,
片的发展
because
是
development
北
of
斗系统
chips
应用的一个
is an
很关键的
important
一步。我
application
想知道
to
这个
the
后续的这个
BDS.
芯片的发展，还
So
有
I
一些
want
什
to
么
know
样的
more
一些新的
about
进
the
情况可以
future
跟我们透露
development
的。
for
第二个，我
chips
们觉
of
得
BeiDou
确实北斗
system.
系统在
And
空间上的
second,
发展速度是非常的
It
快，
has been
进展也非常
developing.
的
It has
显
been
著。
developing very
但是在
fast in
北斗
terms
芯
of
片
the
这块，
aerospace
却还是我们
aspect.
整个应用的一个短板
But
和痛点。
I think it's
您
safe to
觉
say
得
that
是
the
我们
chip-related
在
application
北斗
is
芯片的发展上面有怎
relatively
样的一个思路
falling
可以去扶
behind
持它，
compared to
可
the
以让
other
这个产业
parts.
很快的
So
跟进，
how would you
让整个
boost
系统的应
development
用
in this
能够快速的
regard
发展起来？
so
谢谢
as
您。
to integrate the
谢谢，
system
这
and
是关于
upgrade
应
the
用的问
service
题啊。
level?
我
So
们
it's
经
another
常
question
讲
about
这个应
application.
用是北斗的建设的出发点和落脚点。
Application
那么
is the starting
芯片，
point
中国芯药当然
and
是系统最核心的
destination
东西。
for BDS,
你讲的这些情况
among
其
which
实不完全准
chips are
现在
very
我们已
important.
经北斗所有的产业
I
链
have
已
to
经
say
全
that
部
not all of
就是
what
芯
you
片、板
said
卡、天线
are
等等。
true.
因为我举个例子，我
We
们现在
have a
芯
lot
片
of
28纳米的
hardware
芯片都是
support,
接近1亿的规模，
and we
然后
have
22纳米的芯片呢也即将量产，是大批量的量产。
produced
这是一个什么
more
样的水平呢？
than
在国际上，卫星导
100 million
航的芯片的最
pieces
高的
of
功率线也就是这个
chips
水平。
with
所以我们现在水
28
平应该是国
nanometer
际一流。
precision.
关键是我们中
So
国企
this
业
is
参与进来以后，
world
会
class
靠我们中国的这
production,
个
and
科技
they
人员
are
或企业的进
totally
行，我们把价格大大的降低。
independently
我去年前年都讲
designed
过，比我
and
们现在最
produced
便
so
宜的
as
芯片
reduce the cost.
不到1
Right
美
now,
元，6
the
块钱人民币。
cheapest
我经常讲还加
chip
个
only
括号是含
cost
税。
about
所以我们特别有
$6
信心把芯片做到又好又
US
便宜，现在已
dollars.
经做
So
到了。
it's
再举个例子，我
very
们做
good
的
in
高精度的板
quality
卡10
and
年
cost
前
efficient at the
卫
same
星导航
time.
的高精度板卡最贵的时候都是10几、20几万美元。
And
那么今天中国的企业参与了，
currently,
中国的
the
企业做了北斗的高精度板卡以后，在
the
中
board
国
card for
国内
BDS
什么样的价格呢？不到
cost
3000块人民币，
only about
而企业还有足够的
3,000
红利利润在里
RMB,
面。所以应该讲，我
which
们在
gives
芯片的发展规划
generous
上，
bonuses
中
to
国企业
our
非常有积极性。当然，作
enterprises.
为政府来讲，
So
我们要提
the
供营造一个好的
businesses
环
are
境，提供
quite
政策，比如支持产权
positively
保护啊，
actively
这个
participating
支持
in
这
this
个优惠
effort
政策、税收的这个资金贷款
so
啊
as
等
to
等方面
harvest
提供
more
一些优惠的政
profit
策。我们也鼓
and
励
make
中
full
国企业
use of
在
the
芯片在
provincial
北斗产
policies
业
provided
继
by the
续加大力
government.
量，加大
We
投
are
入，把
hoping
北斗
that
产
the
业链做得
chip
更完善。我们
manufacturers
也
in
期待
China can
北
continue continue their journey in this regard so as to support development of BDS and its application. Last question. With Renmin Network, New infrastructures become a key word, and 5G and mobile internet are part of this topic. And what will BDS bring to the application of 5G and mobile network? 5G is a new direction in terms of the telecommunication services, and China has done so much and achieved a lot of very good results and effects in terms of 5G development application. So in the foreseeable future, satellite navigation can provide much more accurate time and location information, so it can be very naturally integrated with that of 5G. So from internet to TOT to IoT, and integration for AI and big data, they will be given rise to new industries and new models, new changes. One example that I once gave is that this high accuracy can actually be applied to wind turbine, electricity generation, as well as drones and driverless technologies. A lot of domestic businesses are doing research in terms of integration of 5G and navigation system. And the driverless technology and driverless cars are only part of that. And this will be a new development. That's all for the presser. Thank you for attending.